Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Bangladesh goes to the polls in its most competitive election since 2009, following the ouster of former PM Sheikh Hasina. Hasina's Awami League is banned, leaving the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, and a Jamaat-led coalition in a close race. Generation Z, making up about a quarter of voters, is playing a decisive role, with young activists driving political engagement. Analysts say the outcome will also shape regional influence as China's role grows and India's wanes. Polls show corruption, inflation, and economic concerns top voters' priorities, while BNP remains the frontrunner. Jamaat's coalition, bolstered by Gen Z allies, could still make a strong showing. Hong Kong media tycoon and pro-democracy advocate Jimmy Lai, 78, was sentenced Monday to 20 years in prison for national security violations, including collusion with foreign forces and publishing seditious materials. Authorities called Lai the mastermind behind conspiracies involving Apple Daily staff and foreign contacts. 6 former staffers and activists also received 6 to 10-year sentences. Global leaders and human rights groups condemned the ruling as a severe blow to press freedom, with Lai's frail health raising concerns over his safety in prison. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's ruling Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, won a historic supermajority in vote, paving the way for her promised tax cuts and stimulus measures. Takaichi plans to suspend the 8% food sales tax for 2 years to ease living costs, a move that has rattled financial markets amid Japan's record debt. Investors have pushed down the yen and sold government bonds over funding uncertainties. Analysts say the victory strengthens Takaichi's hand against fiscal hawks in her party. She is expected to hold a post-election press conference Monday, outlining the next steps for her expansionary agenda. China says its policy towards Japan will not be affected by Sunday's election, in which Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's coalition won. The spokesperson called on Takaichi to withdraw her comments on Taiwan, which Beijing says threaten regional stability. The election paves the way for promised tax cuts and increased military spending in Japan. Takaichi had previously warned that a Chinese attack on Taiwan could be survival-threatening for Japan, sparking tensions with Beijing. At least 13 people have died after a residential building collapsed in Tripoli, Lebanon, as rescue teams continue searching for those still trapped. 9 survivors have been rescued from the Bab al-Tabaneh neighborhood. Officials said 2 adjoining buildings fell, home to 22 residents. Recent collapses in Tripoli highlight deteriorating infrastructure and years of neglect. Thousands rally across Australia on Monday against Israeli President Isaac Herzog's visit, citing his alleged role in civilian deaths in Gaza. Pro-Palestine groups led demonstrations in multiple cities, with Sydney police deploying 3,000 officers to maintain order. Herzog laid a wreath at Bondi Beach, honouring the 15 victims of last December's mass shooting, and met survivors and families. Some Jewish Australians also opposed the visit, urging the government to rescind Herzog's invitation. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says there is no option but to negotiate with the United States, even as tensions remain high over Tehran's nuclear program. Speaking in Tehran, Araghchi said Iran is ready to address concerns and build trust, but insists no country has the right to dictate its nuclear choices. His remarks come a day after he warned that Iran would strike US bases in the region if attacked by American forces. President Trump has said the next round of indirect nuclear talks could take place early next week, following a US military buildup in the region. Iran says it wants recognition of its right to enrich uranium, while rejecting demands to curb its missile program, which it says would leave the country exposed to attack.
United States President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are due to meet next week in Washington to discuss issues linked to Iran. The Israeli Prime Minister's office has confirmed that Benjamin Netanyahu will meet President Trump in Washington on Wednesday. both Trump and Netanyahu, to discuss the negotiations between the United States and Iran, including concerns related to Tehran's ballistic missile program. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.